When it comes to manifestation and the art of life, there are a few things that we are constantly practicing, whether we are aware of it or not. Now, because we are talking about intentionally materializing and manifesting the things that you have decided to create for yourself, we need to really encapsulate and identify what these practices are, what these things, these elements of manifestation is, in order for us to master it or remaster it and come into understanding as to what your formula is to create things that you have decided to create consistently. Now, we've talked about the importance of imagination, being inspired with an image, right? An idea, and then building upon that idea, right? Thus building upon the skill of imagining what your life could be like or what the result could be of actually creating or doing this thing. But now we're going to talk about visualizing and how you go from imagining something to constantly visualizing yourself being the person who has materialized that thing already. It's almost as if you are in the future, right? Visualization is almost like precognition, seeing into the future of you being the person that has materialized the thing that you have decided to materialize today. It is about identifying that this person that you should be and will be is the person you already are. So now, as we get into understanding how to visualize consistently, because the visualization of having that thing will put you in motion, will begin the momentum of the universe aligning with your consciousness and thus materializing and bringing into fruition the thing that you desire. So here are some basic ideas on how to visualize yourself already with the thing that you have decided to create. The first one is pretty simple, and that is taking time out to be in a quiet space, for you to actually sit still, be in a nice, calm and peaceful environment, be calm and peaceful yourself, and continue to see yourself as the one who has this thing, to continue to feel yourself having this thing, achieving this goal, but not only in a way that you can feel it in your hand, but exactly how it feels to have it affect your life. What does it mean for the entirety of your life to actually materialize this thing? And so as you are visualizing and seeing yourself being this person, right? Visualizing having this thing and how it will affect other aspects of your life, you are still imagining, you are still adding to this reality that you're creating for yourself. You see, remember, imagining is taking images, right? And then creating new images to add on to previous images and building a story, building a reality, building what your existence as you see it could be. Right now, there are nuances and there are possibilities of how things will truly be once you actually manifest it in this time and space. But in your mind, you're going to build it, you're going to create it. Now, with visualization, you're going to feel it, you're going to be it, you're going to do it, right? You're going to understand the impact of you having this thing, you materializing this thing, the impact that it's going to have on your life. So taking time to be still, to visualize, to feel, to own it, right, in that moment is one practice. And that is a commonplace practice of visualizing and spending time really building the reality of this being a material, this being a fact, this being an experience that not only you get to have in your mind and spirit, but also in this physical realm, right? The other things that you can do, which is one of my favorite things to do, is to write it down. Now, though writing things down, you may say, well, that doesn't create a visual, but it does. Because when you write it down, not only are you beginning the process of making it real, because You are writing it with a real pen, a real marker on a real paper. But as you look at it over and over and over again, you are visualizing, right? You are writing it down, and you're writing down from the big things to even the small details, if you wish. But the most important thing is that every time you see this thing that you wrote down, every time you lay eyes on it, it's going to trigger the emotions. You want it to trigger the emotions. You want it to trigger the feelings. You want it to trigger the experience of what you see as having when you actually materialize this thing. So one of the things I do, many of the things that I do, actually, I write things down a lot. I write things down on mirrors. I write things down on whiteboards. I write things down on paper. But the thing that I do that I like to do the most is writing it on whiteboards. But really the most profound and most impactful way of writing things down is writing it on a mirror. Because when you write it on the mirror, you are seeing yourself. And as you are looking at yourself and you're writing down this thing that you are visualizing for yourself, it just makes more of an intense energy and feeling, and builds more energy. It builds more emotional energy toward your desire, right? Your intention to create it. So when you recognize that doing this practice, right, writing it down in the bathroom mirror, or even having your own personal mirror in your bedroom, because I know writing it in the bathroom mirror may be, too vulnerable because other people can get to see it. But you want to make sure that wherever you write it down, you get to see it consistently. So one place that you can write it down is having a whiteboard or a mirror, say in your closet, right? On the inside of the door in the closet. So whenever you open that closet door, you get to see that mirror, and you also get to see the things that you have decided to create for yourself. As you are looking in the mirror at yourself and the things that you've written down, you are visualizing, you are making it real, right? Not only something that is in your mind and in your heart, but you are setting the intention to say, hey, this is mine. This is what I'm creating. This is my intention for the day, for the moment, every moment throughout the rest of the day, for the evening, when I go to sleep, this is what I'm creating. So when you recognize that you want to create a space in your current environment where you are constantly laying down triggers, anchors, reminders that this is what you are going to create, this is what you are creating, then it will hold you accountable in a way. You will hold yourself accountable, because then you are constantly with the thoughts, constantly in alignment with that in which you have decided to create. Another thing you want to do is when you are doing something, whether it be related or unrelated, sometimes many people, we want to leave our 9-to-5 job. We want to not work a 9-to-5 job. We want to have our freedom, and we want to be able to live life on our terms. Well, while you're on your way to your job, what you can do is visualize yourself on your way somewhere else. Say if you like to travel, while you're on your way to your job, visualize yourself on your way to the airport, flying to a beautiful place that you dreamed about flying or visiting, right? Visualize yourself driving to a nice fancy restaurant for brunch to meet your friends. Visualize yourself driving to the beach or driving to the park, or even driving to the gym because you have all this free time. Now you can focus on your health and well-being, right? Whatever it is that you wish to create, if it's a lifestyle or it's just simply a goal, when you are doing other things, or especially mundane things like driving, taking a walk, on your lunch break, be mindful about using that time to visualize the things that you want, and make sure that you're visualizing them in present tense. Visualize them as if they are now. Visualize yourself as the person having the thing that you have decided to create. This is what's important about visualization, is that it is present, it is backed with emotion, and you are consistent with it. Because if you are consistent with it, it rewires your brain to see that as a reality. It rewires your brain to see that as the only way of being, to see that as your life, right? And if you see it as your life and your mind, then the universe will follow, because the universe is an extension of you. So if your consciousness is focused on a particular goal, the universe will follow suit with that goal and create the thing for you. Now, recognize that we're only talking about visualization. There are more steps, right, in this process of coming up with your formula to materialize the things that you want. Visualization is only a part of it, is the beginning of it, because we still have to work on how to channel our energy, how to focus on being productive and focusing our bodies toward action and taking action. But visualization is where it starts, because that lays the groundwork for everything else to be built upon. So continue to visualize yourself having the thing, being the person, right? Doing what it is that you need to do. And once you continue to do that, then actually doing the thing becomes easier, because in your mind, it was already the case, right? You see, your mind doesn't know the difference between something that is quote unquote real or quote unquote fake. If you visualize it, if you imagine it, if you practice it in your mind, then your mind accepts it as something that you actually done. You see, we create these boundaries and these ideas that, okay, I did it in my mind, I visualized it, now I have to do it in real life, right? But really, your mind doesn't know the difference, okay? So once you recognize that and you continue to visualize it over and over and over again, then realize that your mind understands that as you actually doing it. So continue to visualize, continue to practice being that person. Because this person is who you truly are. You see, remember, visualization is the practice of precognition, the practice of seeing into the future and accepting that future. Now you are proactive about creating that future self, right? So recognize that your power is to create the possibilities you set for yourself and in your mind. Continue to visualize, continue to see yourself there. And it's just a matter of time before you are actually there. Thank you so much. Feel free to visit drabundant.com for my newsletter. Continue to join me on this journey. Peace and abundance always.